Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. Before we start, Justin, got a song for you. Do you know what it goes like?
Is it begins with Q?
And I think we should all sing it. Everybody at home after three. 1, 2, 3. Que
Que
sera,
sera,
sera.
sera. Whatever will
Whatever will
be, will
be,
be.
will be. We're
We're
going to
going to
Wembley.
Wembley. Que
Que
sera,
sera,
sera.
sera.
Totally
Get
out of
in there.
tune, but who cares?
Absolutely love it. How are you doing? Mr. FA Cup is on the show tonight.
Well, I wore this wrong side. I wore this after the last round, so I thought I'll wear it again. Keep the momentum going. I'm over the moon, mate. I know it was seen as a sort of an easy tie for us, and I think it was fairly straightforward. I know we'll get into it in a minute, but it's just lovely to be through, wasn't it? And then watching that draw after, when City came out second, I thought, oh, yes. But it's not going to be easy. We know that, but we're in the last four, so we're one of only four teams that can win it. So I'll take that. I took that at the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's sort of just adding towards what I think is going to be a really good ending to the season. You know, we're all heading to Wembley, and yeah, it's the semi-final. It's not the final, and we've got a job to do when we get there. But for the fans, nothing beats going to Wembley, does it? For like a big occasion. So I think for the players, yeah, that they've still got sort of like two jobs to do in this competition. But for the actual fans, like it's really that's what I'm really excited for. The actual fan base, really.
The
So
day out, yeah.
yeah, because it's memories, isn't it?
Of course it is.
And
Well, this
hopefully
will
we
be
have.
my fifth FA Cup semi-final.
And how many have we won of them?
1-2, lost. Well, this will be the fifth. So the first four, 1-2. First one was 95, 96, I think that, but that was played at Old Trafford, Liverpool away. We lost 3-0. Then it was Bolton when we last ever FA Cup
Oh
at
yeah,
Wembley. We won on penalties.
penalties.
Yeah, and then we got hammered by Chelsea. And then we had that brilliant. I mean, this is the one really, the memorable Liverpool win 2-1 at Wembley. That was a fantastic day, wasn't it?
KK saying that we need singing lessons. I'm saying I reckon I'm in tune. I think
I'm
Justin was the one that.
absolutely not in tune at all, but I don't
Yeah,
give a monkeys.
yeah. I'm blaming Justin for that. So right, so we are live. So make sure you are smashing the like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, get involved in the comment section. I was there today, and you know what? It was sunny. Like whenever you go to
Look
them
lovely.
type of places in and around that area, it's always dull and raining and just not nice. But it was a great day. And I had a really good time, to be fair. I'll
I've
let
got
you give you.
terrible
Go on.
memories of Deepdale. I took my daughter for her first ever away game. That was, I think it was Di Matteo was manager, and we lost 2-0. I think it was 2-0 down after about 20 minutes. It was terrible, but I just think that's such a great ending, such a great end to be in, because it's like the whole end, wasn't it? It's fantastic. Great on the telly.
Yeah, we entered it at sort of like the one end, and our seat was right at the other end, and we were like walking through, and it was packed when we got in there, and like I was just like, how far's this going? Like that stand's massive, to be fair.
It's nice, yeah.
And the atmosphere was, their fans are good. They've got like a drum that's a bit annoying, but apart from that, their fans were pretty loud as well, and I think I think for Villa fans, you look at it and you go, it's Preston, but even the guys on like the tannoy before the game were like really building it up as like they hadn't been there since like 59 years or something like that, and they were ramping it up, and for them it was a massive occasion because it was an opportunity for them to get into a semi-final, just like it was for us. But that it did mean quite a lot to them. So talk to me about the game then, first half first, and then we'll go on to the second half as well. So what did you make of the first half and
Um,
team news, who played, etc.?
Yeah, I was happy with over the moon with the team selection. You know, that's all we want, wasn't it? Is to be strong, and I think it's come at a good time. This game, as it was just after the little break they had. Everybody's more or less fully fit. Only one or two missing. The bench was just ridiculous. It just shows what we've got now, and at the perfect time of the season to be back and having everybody back when we need them the most, really. So yeah, really pleased to see the starting 11. Rashford, Asensio, you know, in the same team. And yeah, I was, to be honest, I was one of the probably few that wasn't ranting at half time. I thought we did okay in the first. The only disappointing thing was that we probably wasn't as proactive as we needed to be in the final third. You know, we did have lots of good breaks. We did really well. We controlled the game really well. We never lost our heads. We just probed them a lot. When we got to their box, I think we kept breaking down a bit, but you know, we did find a lot of space in that first half, but they did tend to sort of they made one or two, or maybe even three or four or five tactical fouls at the right moment. You know, when they sort of, I think they were trying to flood the midfield, but I don't think it worked because we kept finding that little through ball through to Asensio, to a Rodgers, or to a Ramsey, and they were driving at them. But then it was just breaking down. That was the only frustrating thing I would say in the first half. But for me, we was always going to break them down at some point. I think they were going to have the crowd behind them, the momentum at the start of the game behind them. It was a huge game, like you said. They're ramping it up right before the game. This was their final, essentially, wasn't it? If they could have got through today, it would have been a dream world. So I think we did okay without being outstanding in the first half. But it all came down to, you know, once they came out second half and opened it up a little bit, I think that was where they made the biggest mistake. They made it too open, and we just picked them off.
Yeah, I thought first start, it's classic how we play, isn't it? We look to control a game. We
Yeah,
want to have possession. We want to be patient. We don't want to sometimes be wasteful. But I did feel in the first half, especially Rashford was making a lot of runs that he was peeling off a lot, and he was giving Cash some stares. I'm telling you, he was really giving him some stares as if to say, like, mate, play me in, like, just whip it around the corner into the little channel. And
yeah,
I think that was happening quite a lot, that we wasn't really getting into that area, because that was where we were able to sort of like stretch Preston, because like you say, they were so like camped in. If we are a little bit slow in our build up, they're comfortable at getting set. And I just felt like first half we needed to just stretch it a little bit more. And I think the trepidation with these type of games is, when in the first half they had that little flurry, didn't they? They had a little throw in. They had the built
yeah.
a little
Long
bit.
balls, yeah.
And as a fan, you're thinking, this is how they're going to score. Like that is precisely what they're going to do. It's going to be like a
Yeah.
crap goal to concede. So I think just first half, I think because we weren't winning and we weren't really creating that many chances, I think that's where you get that little
Yeah, for sure.
nick in the back of your head, really. But I think
I
second half,
think we need to be a little bit faster in transition. I think, and like you said at the start, that's the way we play it. And I think against top sides, it's a good way to play because you're waiting for that opening, or you're waiting for that opening. But against a team that was happy to sit in and just basically soak up pressure in the first half, probably, and as we found in the second half, when we sped it up a little bit and we became more proactive in the final third, that's when they struggled to cope with our movement, didn't they? So, yeah, and it's I'm not I'm not calling Matty Cash out at all. I like Matty Cash. I think he's been a really good servant to Villa. But my frustration with him is when he gets in good positions, and there was two or three times in that first half when the ball was fed into his run, and he'd run 5-10 yards and he'd just cut back and lay back again. I think sometimes I wish he was a bit braver. And that's why I think we've been so pleased with Garcia, because he tends to, maybe his inexperience and the youthful exuberance of a young player coming in trying to make his name, he tends to get the ball and drive at them, doesn't he? And wants to make something happen and wants to open them up. Whereas Cash, which I'm sure he's told to do, is just, don't lose the ball, make sure you keep possession, when you get in that final third, cut it back. That's my only little criticism. But yeah, a little bit faster in transition and a little bit more in that final third.
Yeah, look, I think that's what I want from Cash in a way, because our hybrid system is built around when we. It depends how we set up. Today it was a hybrid back three, but it was with Kamara going into and making a back
Yeah,
three. So you can see from the average positions here now that let me just get it on the screen. Hold on, what's going on here? Right, here we go. Right, so what you can
his
see is
Wi-Fi's
that
gone.
Boubacar Kamara is the one that sort of screens Matty Cash. So you see that little heat map behind where Matty Cash is here. So there's Cash, there's
Yeah,
Kamara. Boubacar Kamara screens Cash, which allows Cash to go forward and become sort of like a wing back. So you've got your back three with Mings, Konsa, and Kamara. So when we do get into those wide areas, I want to see Cash being a bit more of a wing back that's driving and offering the width, especially on the right side. Because if you have a look at where Rodgers is, Rodgers will drift inside as well when he plays on the right. So I mean that was probably like my only biggest criticism really of playing in that first half.
yeah.
But second half it sort of like completely changed.
Yeah, Kamara really he's sort of his job is to do his normal job, and then if Cash does bump forward, he's sort of to plug that gap, isn't it?
Mm.
And I think you've seen in that with that highlight there where you've said in his average his heat map, he didn't have to really play at right back. What he was doing was just drifting over to the right hand side to basically make sure that if the ball broke down or Cash lost the ball, he was able then to pick up the position of right back and to cover Cash's run. So I think that's probably why it makes it a little bit more frustrating that Cash didn't have the. I'm not going to say bravery, but he didn't have the confidence maybe to make that run into the final third and to try and get the ball in or a little 1-2 or something. But it's a minor gripe, really. They're coached to death, aren't they? So I like to think that everything they do on the pitch is thought through.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you have a look at the momentum bar of this game, I mean, you have to pinch yourself sometimes that this is actually Aston Villa that are doing this, because look, it's just pure like domination, really, especially in that second half, that spell there where we've got those three goals. And it was sort of a little bit like what we've seen sometimes, especially at Villa Park, those little blitzes, those little
Yeah.
bursts of, I think Heckingbottom alluded to it, that sort of the done well, the game plan was going well, but in the space of a couple of minutes, like it's like 3-0 down, game over. We've blitzed them, drove through it, and we've been able to
I,
get the win.
I think that's why it didn't frustrate me in the first half, because looking at that graphic there, we were in control in the first half, and I think the plan always was at some point we were going to open them up, and as soon as we got that first goal, being a cup game, then it changes their perspective of the game and it changes what they have to do. So they weren't going to just sit in and take, if it's a league game, just you wouldn't want to get battered, would you? You want your goal difference to get hammered, but in a cup game, it's all, you might as well lose 10-0 as 1-0. You're going out, aren't you? So that at that point, then they had to try and be a bit more proactive, and then we just opened them up, and the quality of our players shone through straight away in that little spell.
Yeah, I mean the first goal was just really nice play.
Lovely.
Very, very
Lovely.
central to start with. You got Asensio sort of like takes it off Tielemans and then plays, Ramsey, and then Digne picks out Rashford, and again it's like it looks like a tap in, but the actual finish from Rashford, it's like just opens his body up and just caresses it to the bottom corner, and it's like such a good finish. Like the keeper's like just like standing there thinking, "Oh, it's in the back of the net, mate." But yeah, that was a great goal, and I didn't really see the penalty, but it's a stone waller really, and it stamps on his
Yeah.
foot, and you know,
I think the first goal was a good finish. Like you say, you've seen them miss so many times. I think it was one just after that. Was it just before the penalty? I think Ramsey just didn't manage to get his foot or good strike on the ball. So to get that really good connection when it's coming across your body as well, because I mean he was going left to right, wasn't it? So a lot of players would have tried to hit it with the left, but yeah, right foot, really clinical, bottom corner. And then the pen, I mean, he went down in real time, and I thought, oh crikey, what's happened there? And it's only really when you saw it back that he did. I mean, essentially, it's a foul, and that's all the penalty is, isn't it? A foul in the box, and he's fouled him in the box. So I don't think you can have many complaints really there. And it was a clinical penalty. Interesting that Asensio picked the ball up, and they had a little. We've seen. Not Villa, but you've seen other teams having arguments over, ripping the ball off each other. But I think they had a nice, sensible conversation, and I think it was fitting that Rashford took the penalty, giving that extra bit of confidence.
Have you seen that he
doesn't need any more goals, does he?
Yeah, but have you seen that he didn't look at the ball? He doesn't look at the ball when he strikes, and it's like how. I mean, he's a professional footballer, so he should know where the ball is, but. The way in which he does it, because when you're doing that penalty, right, you've got to make sure that you sort of like making the right amount of steps before you actually put your last step to then make contact on the ball, don't you? If he mistimes that and he's out and he scuffs it and it can look really stupid, but the technique on that is so good.
I mean, it's not even that, is it? He's running up and he's basically eyeballing the keeper, and he's almost saying, "Well, you're going to blink. I'm going to blink. You're going to blink first." And anybody that's played football, just if you've got a football, go outside. Don't look at the ball. Put it down, and then run back 5 yards, and then run up and connect with the ball good enough to put it in that bottom corner. It's hard.
After this, anyone with kids and a goal in a football, they're going to go outside, aren't they?
But to be staring at the keeper, and you've got to make sure when you run up, and they're doing that, he's doing that like a lot of them do, which I'm not a big fan of. Them little tiny little steps, and like you're thinking, oh, just run up and hit it. But yeah, great technique, showed really good confidence, and it tops off what's been an outstanding spell for Rashford since he signed for us. He seems to be absolutely loving it. They love playing. He's come out and said that he's playing really good football now, and he just needed a goal. So that goal will be. People will say it was only Preston. Doesn't matter. He's had some fantastic performances. He's contributed fantastically to what has been a really good run since Christmas, and now he's got them goals to hopefully set him off on a little run when we need him most. And I was even thinking today. Sorry to cut in, Luke. Sorry. I was even thinking today, I was talking to a customer actually while the game was on. I said, oh, Rashford's just scored. And it came into my head that what an astute signing he has been, because we've replaced this, let's say, essentially, Duran out, Rashford in. I know they're not like for like, but you've got rid of a player that essentially can only play up top in Duran, and was having this issue with who plays. They were playing half games each. You've now replaced him with a player when you've got a question mark over Watkins's fitness. He's had this little knock before the international break. You've now got a player that can go in and play that role up top, but that's not his sole position. He can play on the left, play on the right, play in the 10. It's lovely to have a player that can play in all those positions. So, we replaced a player that plays in one position for a player that plays four, and we've seen the beauty of that today.
Yeah, and it's a great point because. When a lot of people, well, especially me, doing a predicted lineup are going, Rashford on the left, he's on the left, and then it's like, it's on the left or nothing, and then that means like Ramsey can't get in. But now at least with this one, it's sort of Rashford can go up top, and that means Ramsey can play. So all these different options that we've got are very, very good. But just finish it off on Rashford. Love his temperament. I love how hard he's working. I love that he wants to improve. But I've been watching a lot of off the ball and a lot of his runs and his movement, and he was brilliant today. Like there was times when sort of like he was just tracking the flight of the ball going over him, and he was reading it, and he was just very, very good. So
one thing I'd love to see before the end of the season is a Rashford thunderbolt from a free kick. A couple of 3 times when he lined them up today, I was thinking just smash one in the top corner. That'd be amazing. Hopefully, saving that for Villa Park.
Yeah. There's a question here saying, have you changed your mind on Rashford, Luke? Remember you being a bit uncertain. To be fair, I did say like it was all on Rashford, and that if he came and knuckled down and worked hard, then I was all for it. And that's what he's done. Like he's been perfect, hasn't he? Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying about him off the ball, and even Thomas Tuchel putting him in England squad, referring to Rashford off the ball. And I think that's everything. That's mindset and mentality, and that's what we've been able to unlock. It. Nobody doubts Rashford on the ball. It's been
No.
off the ball, which has been one of the big problems. And he's fully on board. So yeah, absolutely buzzing. So that's Rashford. And then Ramsey got the last one. Very, very good goal, driving forward. Finish was very good, and it sealed a big win for Villa, which now sees us playing Crystal Palace. And I know that there is a bit of bit of edginess towards this fixture from a few. I'll give my thoughts on it. Justin, you give
Okay.
yours. Comment section, you give yours. I'm actually fine with this fixture. I know we've had a bit of a disaster a couple of times recently. We got battered last game of the season. We played poorly at their place this season. They knocked us out the cup. We drew at home. But I think on that big Wembley pitch, our football does the talking. We are a team that will dominate possession against them. We've got quality, firepower, big game. Something else that's a little bit interesting. Go and listen to Emery's interview after the game. He's talking to the Villa TV guys, and he's talking about like how prestigious this cup is and how good it is to get to Wembley. And I get a sense that he knows how big it is. You know, sometimes some managers would come out and go, the job's not done. We've still got one more game before we, get to this final, and we got to live. Do you know what I mean? But he seems to have a different demeanor about it, which I was quite took aback by, because Emery, he's quite intense sometimes, isn't he? And he was a bit more like enjoying it, which so he should. But so I just think, yes, that can hurt us. Yes, we know where their big threats are. We've had tactically a bit of a disaster the last time where Emery went 5 at the back, and that just didn't work. So we'll have learnt from that. And I just think, we've got Crystal Palace in the semi-final of the FA Cup. Like, we should, if we play our best, beat them. So, I'm buzzing for it. I'm not afraid of them. I think we just go into it, play our game, and win that game. Justin, how are you feeling?
I'm just doing a bit of research, actually. I'm feeling confident. I tell you how I will equate this game in my brain. When we play Palace at Palace, it worries me because we've got a pretty bad record there, and you just think, this has been a tricky place for us to go. When we play Crystal Palace at home, I fully expect us to beat them.
Yeah. Like, we played well at home this season. We got done
Yeah.
twice on a transitional cap. So we
Yeah.
actually played well in the league.
Yeah. And I know the cup game, was a bit of a weird one. But my brain just tells me, and I've said we're going to win the FA Cup most of the season, if not all the season. I think I predicted it at the start of the season. It is that once we get on that big open pitch at Wembley, we've got a lot of players that are used to playing there now. Mings has played there, Conce has played there, Martinez is an international, Rodgers now has played there, Rashford's played there multiple times. We've got big game players, and that is when you need them the most, in those games which are hyper intense and have got a lot riding on them, and you need the players to be able to produce their best on the biggest stage, and we have got a squad now full of them. That's not to say that Crystal Palace haven't got match winners. They've got quality players. He's built a really good side there. And it's lovely to see the likes of Palace, us, Forest, in the last 4 of the FA Cup. But I will always back us to go and beat them, and I think, like you say, Emery's comments after the game, he's always been tuned in with us, the fan base, hasn't he? He always comments on us. He always does it for us. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he sees this. He would have been bitterly disappointed last year to get knocked out in his first game, wasn't it? One of the, in pretty ignominious circumstances to a lower league team. So this is his opportunity now to stick his name in the record books forever.
Do you think when I look at Palace and I look at sort of like Nottingham Forest as well, those teams that play that way, it's very much sitting, counter. That's what they do, and that's what they do really,
Yeah.
really well. But I don't ever feel like you can't keep doing that all of the time and it being successful. There will be times where the opposition have more of the ball, they dominate games, they take their chances, they score early, they take the game away from you. I feel like if we negate the threat of what they have sort of on transition, then we will have all the ball and we'll dominate that game. So we just have to make sure we sort of take our chances, really, because I like someone. I've missed the comment in here saying that they weren't great against Fulham. Like Fulham had a few, this one. So they were awful against Fulham first half. I watched this game as well. Fulham were playing really well, but this is what they do. These type of teams can like ride their luck a little bit, and then they sort of like just go down the other end and score, and you're like, how have they done that?
Punish you.
And
Yeah, the punish
yeah,
teams.
it's one of those. So. I think the team that dominates that game is Aston Villa. So we've just got to make sure that we are tactically switched on against their threat and stop them doing what they want to do, because teams sit back and low block us and they do that because they want to stop us from doing what we do well. So we've got to make sure that we stop them getting into the areas that they really want to get into, really. So what do you make of the other semi-final? Do you think Man City go through?
I mean, Forest have already, beat them this season, haven't they? I watched that game and they were Forest being Forest. I was just looking at the stats for the Palace Fulham game yesterday. 29% possession for Palace. 8
Yeah, but the
shots.
other thing, how can you win 3 penalty shootouts to go like that's
No,
I know that you've got to be good in the situation
yeah.
to score to win them, but it is luck, isn't it? Really,
But
surely
there'll be
in a panel.
there'll be yeah, good. Well, it is look, but people, penalties is an art form, isn't it? To score penalties, and you've got to be good at them. Forest will definitely think they got their name on the cup this season. 3 penalty shootout, got through. Palace will think after that performance yesterday, I didn't realise they would get absolutely battered. 71% possession for them, 16 shots. They got away with one there, so they'll be thinking, we our name's on the cup this season. But sorry, lads, it's coming to Villa Park.
You've said this all season, so
Yep, not changing mine now. We're winning the FA Cup. Forest in the final.
You think it's Forest in the final?
I cannot remember where I said this, but I messaged you on the group chat earlier, and I said it or messaged it or wrote it or that I had a dream a few months ago that we played Forest in the final and beat them. And I can't remember. I was trying to find the clip earlier. And then when the draw came out, I was thinking of that. I thought, we need Forest to be on the other side of the draw now. And they did. They came out on the other side. So,
Justin eats, sleeps, dreams about Aston Villa. And that's what he does.
He does already.
Yeah. So we only got 101 likes, 300. Well, there's 398 now watching. So the likes need to go up. If you are watching and you're not subscribed, then subscribe. Get on the journey. You can comment that way then. So that would be highly appreciated. I think City get to the final, Justin. I'm not going to lie there.
The worry is that they're coming into form, isn't it? Look, they're a brilliant side, aren't they? But as we saw last year, Man United were woeful last season and they did a job on them in the final. So, quite frankly, I don't care. The 3 teams that are left, we can only play 2 of them. We've got to concentrate on Paris, obviously, but I'm confident we'll get to the final. And in a one-off game, we've got one of the best managers in the world in one-off cup football. He's been there, done that, won multiple times in massive cup finals against being the underdog as well. So should it be City, we'll have a plan in place and we've definitely got the players that can win the game. Should it be Forest, I'd be even more confident we can win the game, but I'm not bothered who it is. Let's get there first, then we'll worry about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got some tough games coming up now. We've got Brighton, Forest, PSG. We've got Southampton. We got Southampton. I don't know what to say about Southampton, but we got them, and then we've got PSG again, and then I don't know who we got then, but we've got a long month ahead
Lots
of
of
us.
games, lots of games.
Lots of games, and the other thing as well is that my baby's due on the 17th. 17th. No, my baby's due on the 15th of May, and the FA Cup finals on the 17th. So,
bad timing, wasn't it?
So
I told you we was going to win the FA Cup. You should have planned ahead.
I mean, so we may have a situation happening around that time, but
You can take the baby with you.
We'll see what's going on then. So hopefully, we make it to the finals. Then, sort of the other good thing about today, which I did a little TikTok on, was Villa's bench warming up today, and it had Marlon, it had Watkins, it had Onana, Matson, McGinn, Bogard, Olsen. Stacked bench. I mean, what a bench that was. I mean, rotating certain players, but it's just absolutely stacked. And this is what we were talking about earlier on in the week about, different games, like seeing out a game, you bringing on Onana, and I'll be honest about Onana. I know a lot of you will know that I really rate Onana, but he looked like he got more sort of like, he looked free, like he was just moving his feet a little bit more, like he looks like.
I wonder if
more
he's been carrying
mobile.
an injury though. Think he's been carrying more of an injury than we thought?
Yeah,
Because
he's
at
been
times
playing
he
with an
looks like
injury.
At times he
Because
looks like he's.
But he was like pirouetting round and everything, and I was like, he's back, and then Marlon's cameo, and he's strong, low centre of gravity, really good. And then, I mean, Watkins, he could have had 2 goals in the first 2 actions that he had in the game. The header, the shot, I see him getting a little bit of criticism in the comments, but I mean, we're 3-0 up, and it's just one of them. Like, I don't think I can't say anything bad about him, for missing those chances. It's just one of them, isn't it?
And don't forget, we got Disasi, we got Bailey, we got Barkley. That wasn't even in the squad today. This little break has done us the world of good, and I think looking at now the running and these 7 games, I think in 21 days, if we come through this pretty unscathed, I said it a couple of weeks ago, this could be the best season Villa have ever had.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be, couldn't it? But we've got to be full of everything on Wednesday. We've got to be.
Game. It is a huge game, that one. I wonder how much the extra time will take out of them, because they didn't look. They've been really good recently, haven't they? They haven't lost many games at all. That's 8 or 9 games, but I think that's going to big knock to their confidence getting knocked out like that. And I think they're going to be there, obviously refocusing on the league. So I'm hoping the confidence we can maybe take into that game will outdo what they're them.
Shout out to my brother watching. He's put, what about Marlon, bro? Justin, you can answer this then. What are your thoughts on Marlon? Because he's. I thought he probably might have started today, but he didn't. And he's had a little cameo. Do you think it's just Emery building him up, trusting in him, getting this? Like how we've seen before. Sometimes Emery's quite slow to integrate players in. But Marlon's like an international. I do find it a little bit strange, the lack of minutes, to a fully international player.
Yeah, I would love to ask the question. where he sits in the thinking. It looks like he's got to push his way into the team by performing. Now, does that mean that they're just players that he fancies better that are maybe on the training ground looking more likely? I don't know. I'd hate to think it's because he's just moping a little bit because of the Champions League issue. I don't think that's the case. I think he'll be very professional. I think it was a knock to his confidence to come in and expect him to be in that Champions League squad and then to be at the last minute pushed out of it. I don't. I'd like to think that's not the reason
Or
why he's not
or do
playing
you
regularly.
think, or do you think it's just classic Emery? Because you can say that this Marlon sort of little situation is exactly the same as you could say the Matson one. Surely, is it not similar in a way that?
Maybe. I mean, Matson hasn't had the minutes we expected, but then I suppose you also got what happened with Rodgers when he came in last January. He was drip fed into the team to start with, wasn't it? And I had question marks over Rodgers. I thought, where does he fit in? Where does he play?
Mhm.
And he just got better and better and better. And I don't know, maybe. Look, there's big decisions. We're not going to talk about it now, but there's big decisions to make in the summer. What we do with the two loan forwards, Asensio and Rashford. One thing we do know is that Marlon's here for the long term. So hopefully he gets plenty of game time. Hopefully he gets a goal because he was lucky to have that one ruled out, I think, in his debut at Wolves. And I think he comes across as a good team player, and I think that's why he is. He wouldn't be there if he wasn't. So he needs a bit of love, doesn't he? Hopefully the other fans give him a bit of love. Maybe he's been earmarked to play on Wednesday. Maybe he'll start on Wednesday. You'd like to think McGinn will be back in Wednesday. One or two of the lads, the little bit of rotation will happen, I think. So Marlon could be the one that comes in and plays on that right-hand side, maybe.
Yeah, we'll finish off then with some questions. If anyone's got a question, then we'll answer it. I'll probably have 10 more minutes. But one thing that Marlon did do well, and this is something like how I watch Villa sometimes as well. Like there was a time when I think you'll all might remember, like Marlon went on a little bit of a run, and he sort of kept hold of the ball and he passed it off and stuff. And I looked to Emery, and Emery was like applauding him like this. And you get those little things of like what Emery wants from a player. Like sometimes Emery's very sort of reserved, or is a little bit sort of like that's not what he wants. But at that moment in time, that's what he wanted. So I actually thought like, okay, so he's liking what he was doing there. So yeah, I think it's just one of them. We've got to just see how it goes. He's got to work hard, and the thing is with Villa, I guess we've got some very, very good players, and to get those very, very good players out of the team, they've got to be playing bad, and you've got to be playing really well to dislodge them. So yeah, I think I'm pretty patient, really. So I'll let you have a couple of these questions then, Justin. Right, so we've got so you can answer this one short and sweet. This is from Bongo has put, do you think we should re-sign Grealish?
No.
No, I'm exactly the same. No, not for me.
I am now finally over, Jack.
Yeah, same. Right, another one for you, Justin. Short and sweet. Champions League qualification or FA Cup?
Do you really need to ask me that question?
You got to answer it.
FA Cup win.
Okay, right. You've got another one. Can we go the season unbeaten?
The rest of the season?
So that must mean
that means we win everything.
We qualify for the Champions League, we win the FA Cup, and we win the Champions League.
I mean, we could, but yes, we can. There you go. We can.
Yeah, right. This one's too tough. Best 11 for PSG. I think that one's a bit too tough. I think it's a bit too tough.
I think we can just go as strong as we can.
Yeah, same. Okay, here's one for you. Will we sign Rashford if we can get European football next year?
I think we sign Rashford in the summer, yeah. I think we try and sign both of them. I think we might have to let one of the other players go that have got a high market value to do those deals, but I think what they'll be doing right now is weighing up how we can maybe get those deals done without disrupting the rest of the squad too much. But I think there is movement to be done in the summer. Whether we need to ship out 3 or 4 or 5 squad players, if you like, not first choices, like the likes of Cash I'm on about that or do we have to ship out one of the big boys to get those in? But whatever happens, they'll be thinking it through very, very carefully.
Okay, well, we've got some more coming in for you. This is a good one. Villa are about to hit form. And that's good. And you'll notice that, I think, is it 3 clean sheets in a row? Is it 4 in the last 5? So
we're hitting form at the right time.
Yeah, that is the best. Right. We'll both answer this one, short and sweet. Do you honestly believe we beat PSG? Yes.
I honestly believe we go through.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think we go through. Yeah, we go through.
All that matters is getting through to the next round. That's all that matters in cup football. So I don't know how we do it. I'm hoping it's going to be something along the lines of the Inter Milan games that I remember so vividly from the past. Even the Tranmere game, I know it was different competition, but I can see that kind of game happening where it's a real roller coaster. There's times when we think we're out and then we drag ourselves back into it, and then somehow we get through that game. It's not going to be easy. I think we can do to PSG what PSG did to Liverpool.
Okay, this is a really good question. This is a really good one. Hold on, where's it gone? No, here it is. Right, again, bongos. But is the O'Neill side better than our current one?
No.
I'll say something. I think this one is better, but I think that one could beat this one. How's that sound?
They had some good players, but I think that as
a
whole,
we had wingers, didn't we, and pace, and that's sometimes that's what beats us.
Possibly on the day, it'd be a good game.
Yeah, I want to watch.
I think that. I mean, I've done a lot last couple of weeks with Peter Widd, and I've done a lot of research over that 82 side, and that is obviously the standout Aston Villa team, and they really did not have a weak link in that team. They were incredibly well drilled, and they had players that did every single job you could imagine. And I think this is getting to be as close to that team as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be what they're doing. It has to be.
Yeah. Like Emery as well. He's just.
Well, he's the game changer, isn't he? He's the X factor in all these conversations. You need a man. It's great having the players, but you need somebody that can put a game plan together and then to make the players execute what you need them to do.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Emery, we're getting into some territory that he's really good at. Knockout football. People go, "Oh, he's a cup manager."
Thrives on it.
Well,
thrives on it.
We're in a semi-final of a cup. This is, if you ever go and watch some of these tactical masterclasses that he does, and he talks
watch
about
the one against Liverpool.
Yeah,
watch the one against Liverpool. That is anybody that hasn't watched it, go away right now. Get YouTube on. You're obviously on YouTube now. Go and watch the Emery masterclass when he beat Liverpool in the final. Massive underdogs, had to put a game plan together, and you did it.
Yeah, so good. So I think that's it then. That's it. There's been a lot of you watching, which is good. So hopefully you've enjoyed us talking about getting into the semi-finals. We'll have content out for the Brighton. Bit of a mad week really, because there's 2 games and it's quick and there's not really much of a turnaround. So cheers everyone for watching and stuff. Justin has done an episode with Peter Whiff. He's interviewed him, so go and check that one out.
Do you want an exclusive?
Go on then.
I'll give you an exclusive. I am interviewing on Tuesday Brian Little, so that'll be the next one that's out.
Well done, Justin. Everyone go and subscribe to Justin. What is it? Justin Talks Villa?
That's it.
That's
very
the one.
Simple.
Justin Talks
very
Villa.
Simple, just like me.
Go and check it out. And to be fair, if you're not go and check out the Villains, my little side
Yeah, I
hustle
watched that
project that
today.
I'm
Very
working on.
good.
I have broke down PSG's defending, 10 goals conceded. We've gone through it. And there's, to be fair, there's some stuff in there that I think we can really exploit, really.
Yeah.
So go and check that one out as well. So, right, we're going then. So cheers, everyone, for watching. Up the Villa. Enjoy your evening.
Up the Villa. Up the FA Cup.